Good morning, guys. Today I am doing an in the hoop project, so you don't actually do any machine sewing for this, and we are making notebook covers. These are a great way for me to do more scrap busting of my fabric, because like that's one piece, so you don't need a lot for these. I use a quilt backing inside this. So again, when I make a quilt, I've always got like that leftover scrap. So it's another good way to get rid of the scrap. And they look fun in all different kind of finishes. So the spine on this one is suede with a quilting cotton. And then this one, the spine is a poplin with a quilting cotton. This one is satin and sateen for a different finish. And the one I'm doing in the video today has an upholstery velvet spine and then a poplin mane and a quilting liner. So if you want to see how to make this, you do need a 6x10 hoop to make this size, but when you buy the pattern it comes with an A6, so you can do a mini one in a smaller hoop as well. So let's get started. Okay guys, so I have already cut all of this. This is actually one that I had pre-done, but I'm going to talk about some stuff, so bear with me on that. So the pattern actually requires a bunch of different size rectangles. So rather than having to draw the rectangles out each time, I've taken this like heavy plastic, cut them out and written what they are. So this one is called side flaps, and then I drew a line in the center to say fold, to remind myself that that's what that's for. So you've got a lining piece, you've got your spine, and then you've got your front and your back. So for my spine, I always try and do something a little bit fun. So for this one, I'm going to have this upholstery weight velvet. It's just cool pink. It's a scrap that I had. So this is also a really good scrap buster. So for my main fabric, I'm going to be doing the cute unicorns. So I've cut 2 of those. So front and back. And then the side flaps will be on the inside. So when we open the book, this is what you'll see. And so I tend to do the lining the same color as the flaps. So you only really need 2 or 3 different colors, but again, great scrap buster. So 2 of those will do the main parts of the book. So if you've got some scrap that's not quite big enough for a bag, this is a great option. Now with that said, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a piece of batting, because you cut it the same size, and then I'm just going to join these together. So just a light spray, because it does get stitched quite quickly. So this is more just like to tack it together so it's one piece. And then we're going to do the same to the front and back pieces. Now with quilt batting, if you've never used it before, there's always one side that's a little bit flatter and less fluffy. That side's got what's called scrim, which is like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like an almost fabric type stuff that holds all the fluffy stuff together. So when I'm putting on quilt batting, I want the fluffiest side to be attached to the fabric so that the back is smoother and so less likely to pill or have issues. So I'm just going to line these up together and then just lay them on. Now I'm really lucky that this fabric is non-directional, and this fabric is discontinued. It was just in my stash from ages ago, but it was from Spotlight. I don't know what it's called, sorry. This, however, is, I think it's still at Spotlight. It's just the upholstery velvet. And same with this, also Spotlight, probably discontinued. This is a quilting cotton, and this one's a poplin. But you can kind of use any fabric you like. So let's go over to the machine and get started. All right, let's get started. This is your placement stitch. And next we're going to place the fabric in. Now the fabric is deliberately cut slightly bigger than you need. So it's going to make it so you don't accidentally miss anywhere, which I really like. Now, if you look on my actual screen on my embroidery machine to the right, you can see the kind of circle and oval shapes it's quilting onto the fabric. It does it in one continuous stitch, which means there's no jump stitches and little things you have to come back and trim later. And I really, really love that. It's very well thought out, but they don't look like circles until like halfway through because it's kind of all over the shop. Okay, so now I've folded that piece in half with the right sides facing out and it tacks it down. That's to hook the book on the inside of the bag. Not bag, inside of the book. So now we're up to the spine. So on the left-hand side, you'll see that I placed it right on the line, and now it's doing its decorative spine quilting. And then that is a placement stitch. So I'm going to chop up that side. Sorry, this is going really fast. So I chop the first bit that we did to the back piece right on the stitch line and then butt it up flush with the spine, and it will do a zigzag stitch to join it. And then after it's joined it comes back and does a decorative heavier satin stitch so that you don't see any of that, and it looks really pretty. So the two different designs have two different styles for that as well. And then next up, we're going to take our backing piece and we're going to face it right sides down, and it's going to tack that along there, like so. So last is the front. So we work back to front with these, placement stitch again, then we're going to put the fabric under, and then it's going to do all the quilting. Now with this pattern, you actually have the option to have like an angled accent piece on the bottom corner. I chose not to do that. But if you wanted to get really personal, I actually got given one once and it had my name Tori across there. A beautiful lady named Alison gave it to me. She got me addicted to these books actually. So thank you, Alison. So yeah, so again, it's going to do the quilting, and then we're going to come to the left-hand side and chop all the excess off so that we can join the spine there. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just grab my scissors. I actually pull the hoop out so I can get in there really, really well. And then we're going to, I'm just going to clip that lining flap out of the way because it's easy to clip. You could also use masking tape if you prefer. And then again, butt it up so it's flush with the other piece, and it will zigzag join it. And then it's going to do a fancy satin stitch for the edge. The next thing we're going to do is take the other flap for the inside of the cover, and we're going to place it to the stitch lines. Now there's these little bits and you'll see them and they just stitch like up a little bit. That's actually your placement line. So they make it really, really easy to do this. It also comes with a PDF so you can read it as well. So that stitches down, it does 2 stitchings, and then we're just going to fold that lining flap down flush. So it's all embroidered. We're all good. Now we've got a little bit of excess here. You can just chop it off, which is what I'm going to do. If you were watching the embroidery, you could actually fold it over like that, but you're not going to see this bit because the book sits over it. So you can just trim it down like that, pull it out of the hoop, and then from this side, so you can see where all the lines are, we're just going to cut the excess off. I'm just going to follow the outside line around. I'm using my Class A scissors because this is, you know, quite a few layers of stuff. So like that. And so then that's my rubbish bit. And then I'm just going to come to the corners and just chop them like this so that they're going to turn easier. So there's another line. So I've just chopped to just near that. So now I can turn that through like this. And then we just want to flip these little pockets over as well. So that's why we did those little angles, so that these turn out nicely. That's one side. And then flip the other. Now you can use any A5 book. So that's what the inside looks like. So you can't see any of that raw seam under there. And then this is the outside. So I've got like a semi-soft one. I've got a hard one with a spiral, and then I've got some like solid books. So these ones I got, they were on sale at Woolworths, so I bought like a crap ton of them. So I have like 30 notebooks in the cupboard that I'm going to make up. So then we can just slide one side in. And then slide the other side in. It's not super tight, but it is quite firm, and that's the way you want it. And then there is your book done. I hope that was helpful, and I really hope you try these because I love these. I am hopefully going to get a bunch made up for Christmas. So, see you guys!